Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. The clerk of court has now released the state of Idaho's objection in response to the defense's motion to continue the trial. It is filed on the docket June 5th, 2025. It is signed by William Thompson, Latah County Prosecuting Attorney. It concludes that there is no reason to continue this trial, even given the recent publicity that was addressed in the defense's motion. This is a matter that is addressed on page 13. What the state argues is that despite intense publicity, the court should exercise its discretion to deny defendant's motion and proceed to trial using its carefully planned jury selection process. Here, the state says there is no doubt that the publicity surrounding this case, including but not limited to a recent Dateline TV show containing non-public evidence, poses challenges for the court and both parties. The state, however, says here, the state reaffirms its commitment to comply with the court's non-dissemination order, to do everything in its power to prevent leaks and to assist in determining which person or persons provided non-public information to Dateline. So here we see the state taking the opportunity now to address Judge Stephen J. Hippler's two orders that were rendered the day of the final pretrial conference regarding this leak and the court's commitment to find who was responsible and to hold that person to account. Then the state says, however, defendant's reliance on the Dateline episode to support his motion is misplaced for several reasons. First, the question of whether defendant can receive a fair trial is not answered by the amount of and the nature of pretrial publicity. Rather, it depends on whether a fair and impartial jury can be seated. And then the state lists some case law here. Then the next page, page number 15, here the court's carefully crafted jury selection process has every chance to produce an impartial jury. Because of the sensitive nature of the court's Voir Dire procedures, the state will not address the mechanics of jury selection in this public filing, but suffice it to say, if an individual has been so impacted by the Dateline episode or any other publicity, they cannot be impartial. They will not be seated as a juror. Instead, this case is not the Ada County's judiciary's first experience with a highly publicized trial in recent years. Like the court in the Vallow Daybell trial, this court is well equipped to seat a jury, to handle ongoing media coverage, and to conduct a fair trial in the Idaho County Courthouse. Second, the Idaho Supreme Court has rejected defendant's theory that a continuance is necessary to allow media coverage to dissipate. Defendant's dissipation cases occurred in the 1960s and involved communities where it was presumed or demonstrated that residents had already formed opinions about the case based on local media reports. Here, venue has already been moved, and the court will use a much larger pool of potential jurors than in defendants' cited cases. Elsewhere within this filing, the state raises the issue that the Constitution of the state of Idaho and Idaho statute also requires a timely disposition of this matter related to victims' rights, that the victims in this case, including the immediate family members, have a right under the Idaho Constitution to the timely disposition of the case. Elsewhere, towards the beginning of this filing, the state also attacks the defense's argument that there wasn't enough time for mitigation, that the defense needed more time to do further things. I will leave you to read this document. It is 22 pages in its entirety. We now await a reply from the defense replying to this response. Once that hits the docket, we will advise you. Thank you very much for joining us here today.